Hello,
Hello,
everybody.
friends.
It
We're
is
here.
me and Drew, and we are part of the Paper Dungeon. Uh, we're a group. We play some Dungeons and Dragons, 5th edition, on
Yeah.
Mondays, and this is the show that we run on Thursdays called Table Scraps, where we talk about that show on Mondays. And let me tell you, it was a
It's
doozy.
been. It was banger.
Yes. We are three some years into this campaign, and last Monday was I guess the second to last episode of the campaign, as far to our
Yes.
knowledge.
Yeah.
It was the last combat of the campaign, almost
Uh huh.
guaranteed.
Uh huh.
And
Well, I mean, we all know. We all know. Okay, look, we'll get into it, but there's a chance that some infighting happens.
I kill Drew, not the character. I fly to where Drew is, and we fight on the next episode. And there's no chance he's beating me. I'm just gonna tell you right now.
Not
This
gonna.
is
Yeah.
this is not a
100%.
fight; it's a slaughter.
It's.
Okay. Um, but yeah, so if you have not seen the previous episode, we will be talking about it. We will be mentioning some things that are probably spoilers. If you're not okay with it, this is your warning. Let it be known. We would understand if you're like, I don't wanna be spoiled. I don't wanna be spoiled. Also, I think my microphone is a little low on volume. That might be a little bit better. A little bit better, maybe. Um, so as for what exactly is going on here, and if that is now too loud, please feel free to tell me. Um, this past episode, we finished off the combat from the episode before this one because we were duped. We were
We were
had.
duped.
We have been searching for um, the big final big bad of this campaign, who was about to
Clovar.
release
Yeah.
so the six truths, really big scary monsters that basically can't be stopped and are very difficult to control. You need the rod of seven parts, and then if you don't have it, they just rampage and they're just unstoppable. And he was looking to free that one. He was like, "Rod, I don't need it. We're just gonna set him free. World's gonna just get destroyed. I'm into it."
Yep.
Um, and we were like, "No, don't." And so we went to where we thought he would be, and we were tricked. It was not him. It was instead someone else.
Yes.
It was a big, scary demon tiefling guy
Yes.
um, that we proceeded to have a combat with. We got halfway through that combat. This past episode, we finished off that combat. We just beat him into the dirt, pretty much.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Um, Stopped that truth from getting resurrected, found out where Clovar is, and then the next 3 hours were spent fighting Clovar. And DJ mathed it out. The fight was 4 rounds.
Yeah, yeah. We had 4 total rounds of combat with Clovar, which took about
It's like
like
3 hours,
basically three
pretty
hours.
much. We'll throw in a couple of breaks here and there. Also, hand skate, we get it. Feel free. Um, yeah, we also skipped plugs. Don't care.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not a
it's
problem.
fine.
Uh,
Handskate is here to be our hero right
Handskate, I'm
now.
not gonna lie. I saw you said I'm gonna throw plugs in, and assumed you meant earplugs because you were like, I don't want to be spoiled. That's where my brain went. Not like plugs for the show. But thank you for remembering to do plugs for the show. Look,
You know,
it's
we
like,
should we really should make Hands like a mod or
yeah,
something, you know.
probably.
Hey Hands, do you want to be a mod? I'm gonna ask this decision on table scraps, and then next time like DJ and Grant like show up, they're gonna be surprised.
um, Thank you for all that you do. Uh, to continue on with the recap, yeah, this fight took like 3 hours. It was a long fight, and it went well. It was, first of all, it was a very fun fight. You did a
It
fantastic
yes,
job.
it was an excellent fight. Honestly, I think he could have gone a little bit harder actually. So so what I mean by that? Oh my
In
goodness,
what
man.
way?
Because uh I think like the environmental effects that he had were excellent. However, I think he could have gone a little harder with like what they did,
Mm-hmm.
and like maybe even shoot, maybe even like had like the truth do some stuff. That would have been kind of interesting. Just because the only reason I say that, right, is I thought the fight was absolutely excellent. I afterwards, the four of us were all talking, and I went on record. Well, actually, I didn't go on record. Now I'm going on record on to say that this was, I think, probably my favorite episode of all time, if not
Mm-hmm.
top three. Uh, just in regards to how everything worked. Um, however, in that combat, I ended the combat as Cather with full health.
It's true. So here's the thing. I don't know if uh, how do I want to say this? I think that specifically because the events happened in the combat in the way that they happened, like that's how we ended up there, and it's really hard to make a combat where like things proceed in the way that they did in that combat, but everyone is like dealt damage.
Uh-huh.
Uh, it's just really hard to do. What matters is at the end of the combat, it felt like all of us were at low health, even though like three of the four of you
Well, yes,
um
that is
like had
that
not
is a
taken
very valid
damage.
point. There there was still a lot of, suspense in the fight,
Mm-hmm.
and it still felt like there's a lot of stakes in the fight because like, and again, this is why I like what I my comment is just really nitpicky in all honesty,
Yeah.
because it was still fantastic given the fact that Abernathy Strip was one failed death save away from dying.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Grant was, was heavily damaged.
Actually, he
Uh,
wasn't.
he wasn't
Yeah,
heavily
so
damaged.
I'm gonna go into
Wait,
it.
wait, wait, wait. Back up. Was Abernathy the only
I
person Clovar attacked?
this is exactly the thing. So in this combat, I mentioned this to the group afterwards. This was Abenthy's finest combat. This was he peaked in this combat because on the very first turn, Abenthy, first of all, I get to perform the turn that I have been waiting to perform since I started playing Abenthy. I have been prepping for this day. We mathed it out, 6 spells in one turn.
Uh-huh.
Seven, seven if you
Well,
count the time
well,
stop.
I was gonna say technically you activated 6 spells in one
Well,
turn.
yeah. It's semantics. 6 spell effects occurred in one turn. There
Yes.
was, so I cast time stop. At the end of that time stop, that last turn went, um, activate haste, which triggers delayed blast fireball. Action, cast a fireball. Use my fighter second action to cast another fireball. Use my hasted action to throw a frost orb that I had previously made. And then use my bonus action to fire off a beam of light from my crown of stars, which is 6 different spell effects. I should have had one of the fireballs be a lightning bolt, just because it would have been more thematic than having two fireballs happen.
Uh-huh.
But I was like, I don't want to deal with it. I know that it's the exact same math, but we know that the fireball works. Call it good. And then immediately after that, Clovar goes and activates a thing that paralyzes everyone except for
Yeah.
Abenthy.
Yeah, except for Abernathy. That is true.
And
Abernathy did have his anime protagonist moment.
dude,
He really did.
it was so anime this past episode for Abenthy. Because and here's my favorite part about it. If Abenthy was a traditional wizard, this is the worst possible situation for him to be in
That is true.
because he's the only one non-paralyzed, and he knows that if Clovar makes it to where the group is,
Hmm.
he's going to murder like 2 people
Yeah,
because
100%.
every single attack he has is going to hit, and every single one of them is going to be a crit, and there's nothing that anyone can do to stop it.
Uh-huh.
Abinthy, traditional wizards, they aren't going to slow him down. They're not going to get him out of here. He still has. It's the first round. He still has all of his saving things. But
Also,
instead,
I realized after the combat we did not get rid of a single
we got rid of one.
saver system. We did get rid of one?
Edward got rid of one. With
Oh, okay.
he cast the psychic lance or something like that, or
Oh, okay,
synaptic
okay.
static, one of the two. So we but Abinthy, not being a traditional wizard, just says, "All right, square up." And so he teleports next to him and just starts going in
Knitting.
with the attacks. I was ecstatic. Um and so he in that moment Abinthy stops Clovar from getting next to the rest of you. So that way the paralyzed can wear off and then the rest of you can now join and help Abinthy not die.
Yeah.
Helping Abinthy not die was the focus of this entire combat for me
It kind
and
of
for
was.
Grant. Because let me tell you, I think
Really, it was the focus for all of us.
I had to survive one round, so a full flurry of attacks on his turn, and then 6 attacks over the course of legendary actions.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That's 9 attacks, and Abinthy's just in the paint, just weaving, dip, duck, dodge, diving. I
Yeah.
was enthralled.
Yeah, that
I do go down in that round.
I do. Yeah, well, yeah, you went down like almost
Uh-huh.
immediately.
Yep. It's no, literally, it was the last attack of the 6 attacks. I had him use every single resource that he had to knock Abinthy down in the
Yeah.
second round.
Yeah. Oh,
Then
yeah.
I
Uh-huh,
go,
that's
you
right.
pick me up, I get knocked back down again.
Immediately.
and then,
Immediately.
and then Edward eventually heads over there, and he picks me up again. I get to go back into the combat. People are going out. He did try to hit Edward, and he did. He hit him with the thing that reduces max health, but Abinthy invulnerabled it, which is why not Abinthy, Edward. Edward invulnerabled it, so he ended up only taking 2 or 4 damage by the end of the combat, after healing and stuff.
Right.
So
Right.
Abinthy lost. It had to be well over 250 health or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Over the course of his full max, healed up, down,
And he still lived.
again, and he only has 140 health.
Yeah. Honestly, that was the impressive part. That
It
Abinthy was still alive by the end of it.
I thought that I was done playing a tank after Track died. I was apparently incorrect.
No, you were wrong.
Here I am.
Also, what was the highest that your AC got to?
33.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah. I had the robes that are 15 plus dex, and my dex is 3. So
the robe of the Archmage.
I had 2 magic items that bring my AC up by 3 each.
Okay.
So that brought me up to 24. And then I was concentrating in a spell, so that's plus 2. Up to 26, and then because that spell was haste, it brought it up to 28.
Right.
And then I can get a plus 5 from shield, so I was sitting at a 33, which is the only reason that I survived that round, because I think that he missed
because you missed
3 out of his 3 or 4 out of his 9 attacks.
Yeah,
something
like that. Yeah, it was great, pretty crazy. But yeah, that oddly makes the fight. Well, see, okay, so first of all, that does actually bring a very interesting perspective, because in the moment it really did feel like all of us were getting battered and bruised.
Yeah, absolutely.
When really it was actually just Abinthy.
And you know what it was? I think it was because of the saving throws on our turn.
Right.
Because of the environmental effects.
Right.
Abinthy kept going down, so that was an additional thing that you had to worry about. There was the pressure of you have 2 rounds before the big monster wakes up.
Right. Well, see, and that's how I figured out that afterwards. That's how I figured out that the whole combat lasted 4 rounds, because we had 2 rounds initially before the Truth woke up, and then we had after the Truth woke up, we had 4 rounds left,
Before we just insta
but
die.
before the whole cave collapses in on us,
Mm-hmm.
and it took us 2 rounds to do that. Like really, like it was the episode technically ended at the end of Cather's turn on that fourth round,
Yep.
which is really crazy.
Oh yeah.
But like really only possible because like, well, first of all, uh Cather and Abinthy both had some pretty major damage rounds,
Oh yeah.
especially I mean, obviously, especially Abinthy in that one turn, but Cather over the course of
Yeah.
I
No,
mean Abinthy,
Cather.
I mean Cather's well, I should say Abinthy's first sort of turn did a massive amount of
Look,
damage.
I was the jar and the lid, and you were the jam. So
That's
like,
right.
I took off the lid, scooped out the jam, and then set the jar to the side.
That's
All
right.
right.
And and I could be pleased because I had at least one crit that
Mm-hmm.
happened on Clovar
Yep.
with
Your crit
with
was nasty.
with my special ability that allows me to crit on a 19.
You've been waiting
The
for
first
so
and
long.
only time that it happened the whole campaign, despite me having it ever since 15th level.
But yeah.
Like, oh, yeah. But
This
yeah.
combat was super interesting. Also, I would like to shout out. First of all, I've already shouted out uh, DJ, but I'm gonna do it again. Very very well done in this combat.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Here's the thing: I would rather have a combat that feels like we were struggling all the way through, and then we look back in hindsight, and it's like, oh shoot, actually like
That
we
wasn't
were
so
we
bad.
were completely fine.
Yeah, we were
We
doing
were okay.
well.
Um,
The thing is too, like I think the trick, part of the trick of it too was like there was of all the environmental effects that happened, like those were constantly adding pressure, but like only one of them dealt any damage.
mm-hmm.
Not to say that damage is the only thing that's important, but it is a significant thing
Yeah.
in combat, right?
Here's my thing. I
And
think I actually prefer the effects that were happening environmentally that weren't the only one that I wasn't a huge fan of was the fourth one.
oh yeah,
The
the falling prone. Yeah,
I loved the little rifts opening. I thought that
yeah,
was fantastic. I wish
100%.
that the first one had like a different effect, or like the ground like stopped being difficult terrain. Because after you
Oh
roll the
yeah,
one once, then it was just like, well, nothing happens when you roll a one. So
right.
I wish that it
Yeah,
was something a little bit
like
more,
like either the difficult terrain only lasted the 1 round
or like it
and could be
trapped you with like
refreshed,
an
or
easy
yeah,
DC to escape.
uh-huh, something
Like
like that.
your foot gets stuck in a crevice or something like that.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of what I meant when I mentioned earlier that I kind of wish that the truth did a little bit more.
Yep.
Was like I love the environmental effects. I just think there could have maybe been like one additional thing that happened on top of
Mm-hmm.
that. Like for instance, say like as the truth is waking up, before it's fully awake, like it can make like a single attack at one of the party members and deal like 4d6 damage or something like that, right?
Now here's what I would have done, because I like when things are complicated. Um, I would have had the first time the one is rolled, the terrain becomes difficult terrain, because that can just be so brutal, right? The second
Right.
thing I would have it do is from that point on, when a one is rolled, like something happens out of each crevice that has been formed. So like maybe like
Oh
fire
yeah, yeah,
explodes or something, or like poisonous gas leaks from it. And
yeah. That
so
would make
anyone who's
that would be
standing
cool.
within 5 feet of a crevice has to make a saving throw. So then every single time you roll that two, it makes the terrain not only more difficult to travel, but also like more dangerous to like fight next to.
Right.
I think that would have been super interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
100%. I agree. I agree. That would have been that could have been pretty cool too.
but yeah, all in all, I think it was fantastic, and I would rather have that combat that makes you feel like things were terrifying than
Oh
like
yeah,
having
and
a
yeah,
combat where things are super terrifying and like you're really close to death, but it's like not very interesting.
right.
Where it's like, oh
Yeah,
god, everyone's almost dead, and it's like, well, all we've done is swing at a stick like 70 times, and
right.
maybe we'll get out
Well,
of it.
and I think that's part of the brilliance of what it turned out to be as well, in the sense that
Serious Doppler
even
effect. You're like,
even
really?
though even though sorry, yeah, I was looking over here and then yeah, I looked over. Anyway, as but like there was some serious suspense given the time limit and like the fact that like if apathy goes down, we are like significantly screwed
Mm-hmm.
because like
You lose a lot of utility, a lot of distraction, a lot of
uh-huh
a lot of
and
just capability.
right just general capability, especially because like now granted like apathy wouldn't stay down for very long by any means. We had you know there's between
Yeah.
Kiamura and Cather, there's lots of ways of getting like apathy standing again, but that also ends up distracting from other things that could be
Mm-hmm.
done.
Yeah, and it's like you
Um,
need like your time to be able to like hit the enemy.
right.
Um,
And so, and on top of that, like, right, like the cave is collapsing and apathy's kind of our way out,
oh yeah, that is fair. That's a fair point.
you know?
Um,
And so, because like, because even if we get the rod fully assembled before the 2 turns that we have left are up, like the cave might still collapse because there might be enough damage still.
yep.
Which will be interesting to figure out it in the start of the next episode. Um, yeah,
So, yeah, apathy really is the group's Uber, but like one with a really bad GPS.
right. Well, you know, since Cathode got rid of his helmet
Yeah.
of teleportation, you know, it's
He look.
yeah
Apathy just likes to take the scenic route. He's
that's
like, I
right.
could have gotten teleport, but
He,
no.
see, here's the thing. Yeah, it's Abinthy is the Uber driver who's like, here, let me show you this really cool thing
Yeah.
on our way over
It'll
to your
take no extra
destination.
charge. It'll take an extra
Yeah,
5 minutes.
yeah. You know,
Um,
Aaron, see, really what it is, Aaron is the cool Uber driver who takes you to the zoo for free, shows you something really cool at the zoo, and then takes you to the restaurant you want to go to.
Apathy is still using MapQuest. He doesn't use not no
Yeah,
Google Map, no Garmin. He just has a
that's right.
paper map he's driving with his feet. He's like, "Don't worry, I know this place like the back of my hand. We'll take a little bit of a long route, see some beautiful sights out here." He's like not even looking at the road, guys, and you're like, "I'm gonna give this guy 5 stars, but I feel like I could have died at any moment." um,
It's like a trip through the safari.
exactly. You're like, wow, I've learned so many things that I never knew before. Also, I risked my life to do so. Um, so other than shouting out DJ, I also want to shout out Grant.
Oh,
Uh,
100%,
I
dude.
talked with Grant as we almost always do after the episode, and the way that I explained it to Grant is Edward has always kind of felt like that person in a dance group, like show choir, that like kind of knows the song but is always like 2 beats behind.
Yeah.
So they're like watching. They're like,
He's he's like yeah doing the thing and
but
but
it's
he's
like
like
a little out of tune.
instead of looking out into the audience and singing out, he's like
Yeah,
looking at the
he's
person, just the people in front of him, just
okay.
making sure he's like,
Okay,
okay,
yeah,
I'm doing the right thing, right?
and oh shoot, it's a step to the left, not to the right. But then it hits the one part of the song that he does know,
That he does know. Well,
and
see,
that
it's
was
because
the last. Yep,
it's his breakout solo
it
moment.
was the last part of this combat where Edward
Right.
finally figured out what part of the song we were in,
Uh-huh.
and then he just started popping off.
Right.
Like he indestructible that 81 to your max health thing,
Yeah, dude, that was significant.
and then he just
That was
hit every single step.
that was see I loved that also just purely for the like in-world like
Oh,
role play moment
oh my
where
goodness.
literally Edward does it like there's this golden shimmer like shielding him and he just has this look of being completely unimpressed, which is the sickest one of the sickest things that I
It
think
was
Edward has ever
wonderful
done. It's like
thematically.
literally the person who we've all ragged on this whole time of Edward being just this normal dude, just this
Hello, Anchor.
normal dude who then is standing before Clovar, the man
Oh
himself,
yeah,
the ender of worlds, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm not very impressed by that,
yeah.
buddy.
Could have done better.
You know,
Just saying.
I expected more.
There's a lot of talk, and frankly, I feel a little let down.
I feel,
Um,
like I feel disappointed.
Yeah, and then I think Edward saved Apathy's life 3 times in this,
Uh,
like literally from being knocked down to, or
be,
like about
well,
to die to fully up.
yeah, because the first time that you got knocked down, he had Clovar hit you one more time,
Yep.
and dealt 2 death saves, and
Well,
then
no.
Cather
The
got
first
you
time I was
back
knocked
up
down,
immediately with his sword, and then you got hit again.
because no, it was so the
Oh
first
no
time
no
that I
no
got
no no
knocked
no no.
down, it went one full round before I was picked up because I had to roll a death save for that one, and it was convenient because that was also the turn that I had lost haste on. So even
Right,
if you
right,
had picked me up, I wouldn't have been able to do anything. Um,
right. Yes,
and
and then but
then
after you made that roll, then
Yep,
yes, then
and
that's
then
when
you
because
picked me up on that one,
yeah. Well,
and then
I picked you up on I think it was on Clovar's.
because yeah, he went to attack you, and then you reaction hit him, and then it sent the healing
Yeah,
to me, and then his
right,
second attack he went back towards me.
right.
No. It's he attacked me. You reacted attacked him, and then he sent his other second attack back at me in order to knock me down again.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, some combination of you did a reactive thing. So then I was
Yeah.
up and then back
I
down.
used one of my several reaction attacks that I
Mm-hmm.
have to hit Clovar and
Yep.
heal you, and then you like and then it just got smacked again and
But
went
then
back down.
I he healed. I don't remember how he healed me the first time because I think I was knocked down like 3 times in this fight, 3 or 4 counting the additional
Knocked
one.
down, healed by Cather, knocked down, and then
Something got me up the second time, and it wasn't you or Kiyomura, so it had to have been Grant. I
I
don't
mean,
know what he cast.
well, because I think that was just when he cast Regenerate on you,
Oh yeah, okay, so it was
which
yep. The regenerate brought me up,
because that immediately gave you like 30 something health, brought you up.
and so here's what I was counting. The third one was because he had given me just enough health that I was able to take 2 attacks to be knocked down again. Because if
Right.
it had healed me for slightly less, then I would have been knocked down and then pretty much immediately killed.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I got healed, hit him, and then Grant stunned him, and that's what it was.
Right.
Because once again, he knocked me unconscious, and then Grant
But
stunned him.
you got the one health back from the Regenerate.
Yep. Because when he had knocked me down, if it got to the end of Grant's turn, he would have used a legendary action and just stabbed me.
Yeah.
But Grant
100%.
stunned him on that turn.
Right.
So like somewhere between 3 and 4 times that I got saved by Edward.
Yeah.
Which like, man, just really just popping off
Which
this episode.
well, yeah, and the crazy thing, right, is like if we don't
It
do
really
quite
was.
as good a job of getting Abithy up, then Abithy isn't able to make just the most insane critical hit we've had in
It
the entire campaign, which is saying a lot for
it
our
was nutty, and it wasn't
campaign.
to me. It isn't even the damage that was the nutty thing, right? Because like for me, when it comes to like critical hits and stuff, there's levels of how rad a critical hit can be, and it doesn't matter how much damage you actually do with it. Because like, if you just take a normal sword and you crit, it's cool.
Uh-huh.
If
Yeah.
you can take a normal sword and you crit and you have smite, it's
Uh-huh.
cool. It's
Yeah.
it's cooler than a normal sword.
Yeah.
But if you, the coolest part to me was that it was 100% all in on like 17, complete gamble.
Yeah.
Because I
It
had to
is
say beforehand that I was spending every single resource that I had
right.
in order to like deal that damage.
Yeah.
And then
the
I
closest
like rolled the natural 20. I was like, ah!
yeah. Yeah, the closest equivalent is like for like a paladin, like putting like a
Yep,
banishing or a
if you
wrathful
like
smite
use your
on
bonus action smite
beforehand.
beforehand,
Yeah.
and bro, I like I normally run with like you can look back at the tapes like whenever I get a crit, so I'm like, all right, so that's a natural 20. I thought I was about to throw up.
Yeah, dude. Like honestly, like you were stunned, dude.
I like rolled the 20. I was like, ah, ah, ah.
But yeah, I mean, but honestly, like I mean, because after you crit, that puts Clovar at 45 health.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that assuming, right? So assuming you still obviously assuming you don't crit, but you still hit, you you know what? At least half of that damage, if not more, is
Yeah.
taken away. which honestly changes a lot of things
Oh
because
yeah.
then Edward isn't able to power stun, and which means Abinthy's killed.
Yep.
Which also means that less of a chance that Kiamora and Cather are able to finish off Clovar's quickly
And then
because
it's harder for Edward to get the bag that has the rods in it because
yeah,
he
oh
can't
that's also
stun.
true because then we don't have the rod at that point still, or at least it's significantly less likely that we still have the rod at that point. And then basically assuming that things I mean, because at that point, one of two things happens, right? Like, he tries to stun him and it fails, and then he still action surges and tries to do something else, but at best he tries to take the rod and succeeds, which is great. At worst, he does something else that isn't quite as significant.
Mm-hmm.
Then, and then Kimura has to then decide, okay, do I keep fighting Clovar or do I try to revive Abinthy?
Yep. And
And if
that
he
uses
revives,
time and
and if he,
resources.
yeah, and if you revive, although I suppose, I mean, it's not quite as bad because he could have revived Abinthy with a bonus action
Yeah.
anyway. Um, which isn't as bad.
But even then, you like use a
Um,
bonus action, and I probably die at the end of Kiyomora's turn
right,
because he
but
just stabs
then,
me again.
right, yeah, exactly, assuming that Kiyomura attacks two more times at that point, and then maybe is dealing enough damage for Cather to finish him off, but like that would require some really fantastic rolls.
Yep.
And consider the fact that Clovar is resistant to
To
all the
most of the
damage of
damage
the
that
two
you do, yeah.
paladins, and so then it's like, okay, that's significantly worse because then we get to the end of that round and it's like Clovar is still standing. Uh, uh, you know, Abinthy's likely dead again,
Mm-hmm.
and we're starting the third round, and like things are still very shaky.
Yeah.
And
One more round, everyone dies.
yeah, and then in what? Yeah,
And
and then
even
after
if you
that,
do kill Clovar that round, can you escape? Probably not.
right,
So
right.
it's like, yeah, like
So
that's tough.
so that was a very well timed critical hit, I will
It
say,
was,
Aaron.
and like,
Um,
whew,
yeah, but yeah,
I was befuddled when it occurred. I like, I still, yeah, I still am not even sure how to explain exactly like what was. My brain just flatlined basically. Like,
I could see it for a moment there.
I had been like on like I typed in how much math I needed for my dice and stuff because I'm like this is gonna be like 28 d8. I don't even have that many. I'm not gonna roll that.
Right.
Let's just
Oh yeah,
use
no,
the
that's
internet.
ridiculous.
Call it good. So I had it all typed into the internet and stuff. I'm like, I'm just gonna roll the dice. It's probably gonna hit because I have a very good to hit chance.
Right.
Um, and then it like rolled, and one of them was a 17. I'm like, okay, great, I'm gonna hit. And I look over, and the other one's a 20, and I'm like, ah! It's just, and I like didn't know what to do. I'm like, I don't know how to do this math. I don't know what is happening. I'm not even sure that I did the math correctly at that point in time. Like it just went on like when I would sleep through class in high school, and just still do my homework. But
Right.
like you
Yeah.
could tell that I
With,
hadn't
with,
lifted my hand from the
with,
page.
when Nora,
Yeah, yeah.
showed up and did it for you.
It was nutty. Yeah, this past combat was phenomenal.
Yeah.
We managed to defeat Clovar with some cinematic expertise. I like to imagine. Here's the thing: if I were to animate this combat, which is something that at some point in time, when I'm good at animation, which I believe will happen one day, I would love to go back and animate some scenes from this, or even just make like a mini like movie series or trailer
Something. Yeah.
from campaign 1. And in this fight, when like I would like to imagine that if it was animated, like Clovar it like gets stunned by the attack. Kiamora moves in. He's like, Cather, no! And the Cather moves in, and Clovar like attempts to move, and you just see an unconscious Abinthy like holding on to his ankle, like just refusing to go down. And that's when the like attack happens. So
Yeah,
But like, yeah, I would.
it
It
was.
was a very good ending. Of course, we're not out of it yet. We've got to
Yeah.
assemble the rods still, escape the crumbling mountain, and
Hmm.
then the next episode we're gonna have is just gonna be dealing with the aftermath.
Right.
It's
It's
just
gonna
gonna
be it's
be
gonna be a lot of role play.
whole lot of role play, no fighting, unless it's
Also,
verbally.
a couple things I did want to say. Because Anchor reminded me about it by calling the critical hit cinematic. I love the fact that it blew up like half the mountain.
Yeah, I mean, when you're dealing like
Like
300
that's the
damage and like
sickest thing ever,
almost
dude.
400 damage in one hit, like something's gotta happen.
Yeah, dude.
Um,
Um,
you've got a wild, right?
yeah. And actually and speaking of a cinematic, when Cather was able to when Guillemot finished off Clovar and called in Cather to assist, um, and used the word of creation over death to
Mm-hmm.
erase Clovar's very existence, blew my mind. But honestly, like I had rolled it first, and I rolled a 2 on my die. I'm like, well,
Ah,
crap, that
that's not
sucks.
good.
And then I remembered something. I'm like, hold on a second. We determined this. We determined this a little while ago with Cather's sword. It's not just attack rolls that he can manipulate with
Mm-hmm.
his fate sword. He can also just use it on just normal check, which allowed me to bring my 2 up to a 13,
The
which
number you need.
gave me ultimately allowed me to get a dirt 20, and then rolling a 8 on the bardic inspiration die, which that I still managed to
Mm-hmm.
have.
Another
Oh my
gosh dang.
gosh.
So here's my another thing. I love that even just thematically and from like a kind of a behind the scenes thing in your last kind of religion check, Grant, you and I all had a part in like that check
Oh yeah.
because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I like it grants in like bardic inspiration, and then your sword was that was inspiration from me for the magic item because I
Hmm.
was the one who originally brought up like, hey, like have it be a way to change fate, have it be like automatically change a thing to a 13 or something like that
Yeah.
because 13 is a
Uh-huh.
cool number. So I like to just have my little meddling fingers, my fingies in every single roll in the entire thing. Every time Grant flies on his rod of lordly might, I'm like, I did that.
Hey,
That was
I
me.
did that. That was well, yeah, and that was I I think I mean that was always my goal with this fight of making sure that if however the end of it happened, like
Yeah,
everybody
it was like
was involved.
a team effort. Yeah.
Hence, that which is why Cather said what he
Yep.
said. Um, and I think, and there's also a pretty significant thing that I'm gonna do at the basically the very beginning of next episode. I'm just gonna insert a significant moment because I want to.
I like it. Sounds good to me.
I'm just gonna literally like we're gonna you're just gonna finish the recap of the episode and be like, and I'm immediately gonna be like, hey guys, I would like to do a thing.
We all die.
I
Um,
know we're probably still technically like in pseudo combat since we have 2 rounds left to live, but there's a thing I would like to do.
yeah, but like let us speak a bit. Let us speak about the matter. Um,
Which I'm looking forward to. But yeah, no, it was how it all ended
yeah,
was phenomenal.
I loved this
It was
episode.
sick.
For me, I tend to prefer a little bit more uh, role play in an episode. So I don't know if it's my number one, like because that's just my own
That is true.
preference of how much
This
flavor.
that is actually a fair point. Because I agree. Typically, I think
Well,
a balance
you're a big
between role
combat
play.
guy, so like it makes sense that this would be so high up on the list for you.
Yes, yes.
Um,
Because like yes, I do really like combat. I like the strategy elements. You
yep,
know, I especially at the end of a story like this where like the full build of the characters are assembled, right? You're
yeah.
not kind of in this partial state, so you
I
can
also
fully do what
loved
you want to do.
in this combat each character fulfilled exactly what their character is meant to do. When I was pumping up Grant earlier, I forgot to mention. I told him this while we were hanging out afterwards. One of the most impressive parts about this combat, from the perspective of like looking at Edward, is it's pretty easy in Dungeons and Dragons to get a character who hurts stuff really well.
Yeah, just play a
Like,
paladin.
you don't even need to play a paladin. You can like inflict wounds is like feels just really good because it does a lot of damage. It's so easy to like find a thing that like
Yeah.
you hit and then you just get to roll a bunch of dice, and sometimes
Right.
that's all you need. It is really hard to play a support character that not only feels like necessary but also like influential and like thematically present as well. It's so hard to do support in 5th edition well.
Right.
And Edward has kind of struggled on that half line of like, am I a damage dealer? Am I a support? And he never really has done either.
Right.
Hey, Handscape, this is not an offense. This is I'm pumping you up because if you do it well, that takes skill. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying it's really hard. Like it is so difficult to like stick to the grind of being like pure support.
Right.
Of like I heal and I like buff and stuff like that, and then when an enemy comes up to you, you're like, I can't hurt you and you can hurt me. Like that's tough to stick to. And in this last fight, Edward was an incredible support. Like
yes.
he
100%.
still managed to throw in some damage in there, and that was great. But like his support moves were some of the best we've had in the entire campaign. Like it's been so good with the like the bardic inspiration,
Well, yeah.
and the lessening the like saving throws and stuff. Like
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
10 out of 10 work, Grant. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, absolute. Like, I would, yes, definitely 100% was the MVP. Has been the MVP for the past several episodes, I would
in our
say.
hearts.
This is completely random.
I'm excited.
But I realized the thing
Uh-oh.
of like, the Abenthy's critical hit is even more like ironic and amazing, purely from the standpoint of Abenthy being a being of spite,
Mm-hmm.
and it's even more and calling back to the resurrection ritual at the temple when Abenthy is just pulling absolute ridiculous garbage
Yep.
with magic, and has this whole spiel about like the power of tailors,
Mm-hmm.
and then in a pseudo full circle moment, like we're back at a temple, Abenthy's laying on the ground basically bleeding out, and then just like lights off a nuke in front of Clovar.
I like to even imagine that at that moment in time, Abenthy probably isn't even fully conscious of what he's doing.
Oh, 100%.
Like he gets laid into, and then Edward heals him, and then based on pure instinct, he teleports underneath someone and then just like blasts a hole in space-time. And that's why the like statement of like, well, that was unexpected is like him. 100%. He like opens his eyes and he looks through the hole that he's created in Clovar.
You know, and actually, the funny thing about that, right? Like, first of all, like one of my favorite things to incorporate into combat is like the role play of exhaustion.
Oh yeah.
Of doing what you're doing, like that's something I'm gonna like that's part of a lot of what I'll lean into next episode, obviously with the fight coming into an end, right? Because like even if you don't take damage, it's still exhausting to exert yourself and use like all the magic and abilities that you have, and which I love. Obviously, like we haven't always done that in combat, like I showed that, but like that's something I do like, and it's something I want to lean into a little more next campaign. But like literally, like I remember in that moment when you said that when with Abenthy just be like, well, that was unexpected, and then just I don't know if you said it or if I just heard it in my head, but then I just imagine like Abenthy literally just said that and then just passed out from exhaustion.
I wish. No, he then proceeded to get beat into the dirt again. Clover was just like, What was that? God, God. I just started pummeling him into the dust.
Just
Oh
screw
my
you,
goodness.
Abinthy.
Because yeah, that's when he ended up with the two death saves.
Right,
Is he got
because he was on
hit once,
the verge of
hit
death.
again, and then hit the third time on his turn. But yeah, it was an episode. Grant, everyone did a fantastic job. You Jaegered two characters in this combat. You were landing hits, and everyone managed to perform exactly what their roles were. Like I got
Yeah,
to hit the rapid fire spell button,
right.
and
Yeah,
then like just deal a bunch of up close damage for a wizard, which is tough. You got to like have two paladins just slamming attacks into people and activate your 20th level paladin abilities,
right.
which were like we've been building up to that for a long time of like because 20th level for like paladins and druids
Yeah,
is like you've suddenly transcended humanity. You're now
yeah.
god.
You
Like,
you are now yeah,
oh
exactly.
my
You're
goodness.
now a demigod.
Like,
Congratulations.
I find it so funny how out of all of the paladins, I would go as far to say this is my own personal opinion.
Uh-huh.
I find it so funny that the one about trees is probably the best one.
I was thinking that
But
actually
holy cow,
when
dude.
I read because like the first activating that ability was the first time I really ever actually like read the ability for Oath of the Ancients Paladin. I'm like reading like I was like, okay, so you actually transform, you gain 10 HP for return. Oh, that's kind of nice. You can cast spells that are an action as a bonus action. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Wait,
You're like,
what?
wait, so hold on, roll it back. Like, dude, it's so funny because it starts off you get your like paladin aura and you're like, oh, that's really good. Advantage on like spells, like
Uh-huh.
and taking half damage from spells. That's pretty good. And then
Yeah.
you like keep going and you're just reading the things and you're like, who allowed this on one subclass? And then it gets to 20th level. It's just like, hey, you know the rules of Dungeons and Dragons? Out the window. Get him out of here.
Yeah, just get rid of those.
I don't even want to think about it. Cast spells. Get him out of here. Bonus actions, every single one. You know that trouble that you had where it's like, but how am I going to cast my spells if my most productive thing is to just hit someone with a stick? I wish I had bonus actions. And then now you have every single one.
Now everything can be a bonus action.
Everything's a bonus action, and you can hit him with a stick. Like, it's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Um,
It is absolutely ridiculous.
It is, oh man, gosh dang, Oath of the Ancients Paladin.
Yeah.
I
You
don't
know
want
what?
to say
Next
for
campaign,
sure.
I'm just gonna say it right now. And next campaign, I'm playing Oath of Agents Paladin. You know, most busted subclass.
Not allowed. Vetoed. Get it out of here. Don't want to see it. Yep.
What?
Not in my house. Look, DJ man, let you get away with that garbage, but not me. I'm not that type of guy. So
No, I'll no. Really, what I should do is play Oath of the Watchers because that is
dude, I
also
will absolutely love that.
underrated subclass.
Only class in the game that can stop people from teleporting.
Just
So
naturally.
also,
Yeah.
so this is an important thing, and I'll have these all outlined for when we eventually start campaign 2. By the way,
By the way,
let me tell you, Handskate, he will. He will. He probably already has. I know
okay,
some about it. It's probably
okay,
already gross.
you so Handskate. I will say this. My for campaign 2, my goal is to be the most influential person on the battlefield without dealing any damage. That is my goal. Now, granted, it's
I'm ready.
like Aaron said, it's very difficult to have a build that deals no damage. So there's obviously going to be ways for me to deal damage. However, my main goal is to
To
be
blow
just
up and act like I don't know nobody.
I would see really what I do want someday is just to basically embody apathy in the sense of getting to a point where I say, no, I don't allow that to happen and you can't stop me.
Yep.
That is the goal. Now, will we get there? Who knows?
Oh
You know,
man, because
I
so
I could die at 5th level. You know, who knows?
I've got two things. First off, I am way more into weird mechanics than DJ is. DJ is pretty straight laced still when it comes to his DMing style. He's like, you deal the damage, you cast the spells, you run into the place.
You move
That's
on.
that's D&D, buddy. Me, I'm like, hear me out though. What if there was a creature that had an ability that, as a reaction, when someone it conceives within range gets healed, it can instead turn that healing into damage to the caster and negate the healing done? And people are like, Aaron, why would you do that? And I'm like, ah.
Because Aaron's a menace.
Exactly, I'm a bad person.
But see,
Second thing,
here's the best
you
part
got it.
though. Here's the best part to add on to that. I'm all for that because I'm going to abuse that so much.
100%.
Campaign 2. I'm gonna be like, "Hey Aaron, I want to do this thing."
And
And
I'm
this
going to
is
be
these
like,
are all
go on.
go on.
Here's the thing. It's beautiful because I am way more willing to let just shenanigan happen. But here's the thing, the more shenanigans I let happen, the more you open the cage.
That is true. The
The more you
more, yes.
I'm all for it. I love when things get nutty because the more this is my rule of thumb, and this goes towards a very general sense and a very broad sense, where I've explained it to Grant a couple of times. When I am DMing, my NPCs are just as smart or dumb as my players. So when, let's say, an example, you want to enter into a castle, and on the walls there are guards. There's guards guarding the gate,
Uh-huh.
and one of the players says, "I know what I'll do. I'll throw a rock to lure the guards away, and then we can just walk right in." And I'll go, "Okay, throw that rock." And then the guards are going to roll some form of check.
Uh-huh.
Here's the thing. Would that ever work in reality? No. No. That's not how that works at all. But the NPCs have to be that dumb. There has to be a chance that they go, "What was that over there?" And then they go and they walk over and check it out. On the other
Must have
hand,
been the wind.
on the other hand, if the players go through through an hour-long planning session where they're like, "All right, here's what's going to happen. We're going to need to buy 17 barrels of explosives, a jar of honey, 3 crossbow bolts, not the crossbow," and have
Lay out
this huge
super
scheme
elaborate plan. Yeah.
where it comes to all those things. I personally, because they've gone to that much work, I'm going to lower the checks that they need and increase the checks that the enemy needs. But the enemy is also not just going to be as dumb as the same guards who would be just go check out a rock. They're going to combat your smart plan. Now, so then it isn't just you don't feel underwhelmed, where it's like, we go to all this planning, then one character goes, "I throw the rock."
Right.
No, the guards, the moment you step into the intelligence realm, the guards are going to be guards. They are veterans. They're not going to fall for some dumb thrown rock. Because you don't want to have the players be underwhelmed when they go to that much work. Where it's like, "Oh yeah, it just works."
Yeah. Yeah.
But you also, if your entire party isn't going to that realm of thought, you still want to have it be fun, and it'd be like, does the guard get lured away? And then the consequences of if the guards aren't lured away is even funnier.
Right.
Because the music shifts from the super in-depth plan. You have Ocean's 11 Mission Impossible music playing,
Right.
and then you have the throw the rock side of it, and that's just yakety sax. And no matter what, it's a blast. But you have to kind of match what your players are doing in terms of vibe as a DM.
Right.
And so that means that the more zany I would like to break the game just by asking the DM if I could do something that's not on my character sheet, that's my preference. Because that means that I get to do more things to match your vibe of "Oh yeah, this happens." And they're like, "But there's no creature that can do that." I'm like, doesn't have to be on a character sheet, buddy.
Yeah. Well,
And I'm all for
it. And I love that. And something that I for campaign 2 am hoping to work with you on throughout the whole course of the campaign is really leaning into and I blame you for this because I blame you as somebody who got me into anime. But
we got 'em,
something
boys.
something that I love about anime, specifically like more shonen genres that deal that
Mm-hmm.
obviously have like the more fantasy aspect or some sort of actual like combative
Yeah.
aspect, is like you have people who have very specific abilities and skill sets who find ways to use them
Yeah.
in versatile situations, right?
Yeah.
Versus where in D&D, you don't see that very often of like somebody who focuses on one thing be able to use that in
Yeah.
multiple
You
ways
like
in multiple
have to
situations.
have the specific skill for the specific situation.
Exactly. And so then that ends up becoming a situation where, like, for instance, like wizards, right? You're like, sure, like there are specific builds for wizards of like, oh, I'm focused on combat, or I'm focused on utility, or I'm focused on support or whatever, right? Like those are all things, but generally speaking, you try to get a well balance of everything just because like you want to have as many pies as possible because like especially as the wizard, like
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of just an expectation of like, oh hey, here's this random situation that nobody's accounted for. Wizard, do something about it. And so then having like some sort of function to be like, okay, normally there's no real reason as to why I should be able to handle this. However, I'm going to do some shenanigans and figure out how to make it work.
I'm look
Uh,
my
which I think is cooler and makes and is better storytelling in a way because again, it's like it encourages your players to be creative with the abilities that they
oh
have,
yeah.
and it also then is makes sense that like okay, hey, this expert archer, you know, uh, while he's not like you know in close range combat very often, for
Hello,
instance, right?
Rudolph.
Hello, we're talking about we've gotten to the point in the show where Aaron and I
Yeah, we're
geek
just
over
talking
D&D
about Dungeons
mechanics.
and Dragons.
Uh, but for instance, like the like the ranger who's like really good at long range combat.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it would make it could be feasible. It's like okay, crap, somebody just got right up to me. I still know how to fight efficiently, um, without a bow. Using whatever whatever the situation might be like, or even like being more creative like with spellcraft of like okay you know um if I combine like if I try to use if I have the ability to cast these two different spells, like is there a way that I could utilize the magic of both of them to use
Mm-hmm.
them in a very unique function? Like could I like through a combination of like detect thoughts and um like charm person or something, or
Yeah.
like maybe even like dominate person, like could I like dominate a person and have them walk around and like read the thoughts of the people around them, like something like that, like
Yeah.
just
And
crazy,
and
like
I'm all for
really
that.
cool and crazy stuff, but like stuff that would make sense of like,
Yep.
oh hey, if you're really good at like that kind of magic, then it would make sense that you could kind of bend the rules a little
Mm-hmm.
bit.
And some of this, I have plans to put in place some way that the our wonderful viewers may be actually able to assist you in doing some things like that. Because let me tell you, I want to increase some interaction up in here.
Yeah.
I want to get people involved. I want you to be watching and go, yeah, I can help with that.
No.
By the by the with a small donation.
With guys, for everyone who has been who has just a million and one little, what are they
Yeah,
called, like
the
bits or
channel
orb,
points.
what the channel, yeah, the channel points, that's what I'm thinking of. Like imagine like there's like a really like cheap channel points thing you could do, like hey, you can name an NPC, and there's like a really expensive one like hey, kill this character.
We have it like one of those like the GDQ like channel runs. Have you seen the Games Done Quick speed runs and stuff where the chat can donate to
Oh
have
yeah, yeah,
various
yeah,
effects happen?
yeah,
And like
100%.
one of the top tier ones is just kill them instantly.
For
Here's the
one
thing.
million shadow points.
I've been saying for a long time that one of the things that I would love to do, and I plan on doing this with my own channel and stuff like that, is I would love to do more charity streams.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I would love if like one of the charity streams uh we had like some kind of battle royale, and the viewers could literally like send like Hunger Games care packages to various characters, where
Hmm.
like some of the cheaper ones is like upgrade a weapon, and you can like the donation saves up a number of points. Once that points have been totaled and it like has reached it, it goes from a base weapon to a +1 weapon, and then for more points it goes to a +2 to a +3. Or like upgrading armor, and you can, or like send them a health potion of a various strength or something like that. Then one of them unlocks like halfway through the stream, and it's just like the players would have a number of lives, so like as you go through the combat they can die multiple times, but like, and then just halfway through the stream it like unlocks like kill a player, and it's just like and there's just someone who's been like winning the whole time, the like zealot barbarian is like, haha, you can't kill me, and it's like, oh, sorry, you've died.
You're dead now.
The chat has declared it.
The chat has spoken.
I would love to do something that obviously requires a ton of work, and I have no idea how to do any of it, but it sounds like so much fun to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, 100%.
Additionally, in campaign 2, and I will have these written down so that way the people watching and the players can know beforehand, I have a number of home rules that I will be implementing, because screw that noise. There's some stuff that I like and don't like.
I still have my favor that I can call upon from because of the with the squirrel, whatever his name is.
Blessing of chestnuts. The chestnut king has given
blessing
you
of
this
the chestnut
boon.
king. That's right. Has given me, Drew McKellips, the boon.
Yep, every single one. All of my players currently still have them.
Yeah.
Now, some of my home rules. First off, teleportation counts as movement. So anything that would trigger off of movement would be triggered by teleportation. Now, this is a good and bad thing for the players.
So as an example, right? Like if you can't Misty Step away from somebody without getting an opportunity attack.
Yes. Now, you will still... It does not count as... Your movement speed does not apply to the teleportation. So even if your speed is 0, you can still teleport. But you are super able to stab someone who's teleporting away.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's a spell, doesn't matter if it's an ability. Booming Blade will trigger on teleportation. Now, it does currently, because I've already asked DJ if that was the case. But in my game, anything that says if you would move... teleportation happens. Exactly. They get dobbied. Right? You can dobby
That
anyone.
is true. They did do it to Dobby.
They reaction attack Dobby with like a ranged attack. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Messed up.
That's messed up.
That's definitely cheating.
Yeah. Yeah. In the world of Harry Potter, a knife flying through the air from 30 feet away is faster than instant teleportation.
It's true. I allow it. Additionally,
to add on to that, right? Like that was something, like, because like for instance, like the Mage Slayer feat, technically adds that function in regardless.
Yeah.
So like it's not like it's breaking ground by
I don't
like
care.
new ground. It's literally like it's already technically a function that exists in the game. So it's like okay.
Yeah, and now mind you, it obviously applies to any spellcast for Mage Slayer. I don't care. Teleportation is stupid and dumb, and it doesn't allow for any interaction excluding a single subclass. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Also, Mage Slayer doesn't work if someone just has an ability that teleports.
That is also true.
Because abilities aren't magic gosh dang things. Super dumb. I hate it. Get it out of here. Yeah. It counts as movement. You can still teleport. It's fine. But just so you know, even if a player tries to teleport away, I'm hitting you with a stick. No get out of jail free cards from here, wizard friend. Not a chance. Shouldn't have been in the fight in the first place if you didn't want to get hit.
You should have ran away.
Absolutely. Run with your little wizard legs.
Now, Aaron, I'm going to ask a question though.
Yeah.
Are you going to have homebrew rules on spell casting, specifically casting multiple spells in a turn?
I will. And this is what it is. This is my other rule, because I like it and I think that it's fun, and I think that it doesn't actually even break anything. I've searched really hard and I've not found a single instance where it would break something to do this. You can absolutely use your action and bonus action to cast leveled spells as long as the total level of the spell's cast does not exceed 6. So if you cast a bonus
This is one of my
action
favorite rules
third
of
level
Aaron's
spell,
DMing.
you could cast a a normal action first, second, or third level spell. It's fine. What problem does this cause? It's like, oh no, I cast Fireball and then bonus action cast another Fireball as a sorcerer. Who cares? I did that as take 2 levels in Fighter. You can do the same thing. You can cast it 3 times with my rules, and I don't even care.
Yeah.
Fire is the most easily resisted damage in the game. If I know that you can do it, I just do things to stop you from doing that as well. Additionally, if you counterspell a counterspell, there will be side effects.
Some interesting
to
shenanigans.
To both casters. I can't just... None of this just... I cast a counterspell. I'm just going to cast another counterspell. And there's I'm going to cast a counterspell on top of that. Anyone who casts a counterspell, counterspell, something will happen. I'm not even sure what it is yet. I probably will just have a random table.
I mean, I was gonna say you could always just use like the wild magic surge.
Yeah, but that's
table.
lame. I could come up with my own stuff, and it'll just be way more interesting. And just way more brutal too. Like, it isn't like, oh, you turned into a sheep. No, it's like you lose your left leg. Just gone. It's just gone forever. You swap left legs. I don't even know. And anchored.
Now that I could get behind that.
You like counter a fire giant spell. Things just get really bad for both of you, because one of you has one really tiny leg and the other one has one that's way too big. We will still be using 5th edition, because I don't care at all about the new 1D&D.
Yeah, it is kind of a unanimous thing within our particular group of the 4 of us right now that we looked at 1D&D and thought,
I might look at it just to steal something from it occasionally and then never do anything else with it.
Well, see, and that is the beauty, right? Like the whole beauty of it is like, well, if there is something about 1D&D that we do like, we'll just incorporate that.
Like, I may nerf paladins like they did in 1D&D. You never know. I might.
It's a good thing I'm not playing a paladin anymore.
I'm just saying. I might. Yeah. So,
please, Aaron, please do me a favor. Nerf paladins and bust all spellcasters.
I kind of already did.
I was gonna say
I kind of just did that right now. But yeah, so that's my thing, and that also means that with the whole spellcasting thing, if you cast a 6th level or higher spell on your turn, your bonus action or normal action can only be a cantrip. Right. So just like normal. It's really simple math. But like, I thought about it, and I'm like, what's like the scariest thing could happen? It's like the double fireball thing, but like that's already really easy to do.
Yeah, it's already pretty easy to do that, and like even still, that's still something only sorcerers could technically do.
Yep. And then
or without multi-classing, I should clarify.
I mean, heck, a fighter in Eldritch Knight can just already do it.
Yeah.
They don't even need any help from me. They can just do that already.
Yeah.
And then like the second worst situation is like, oh no, someone cast a 5th level spell and bonus action the healing word. Like,
right. Yeah, bonus.
Wow.
Well, because like there honestly aren't even that. There's not that many bonus action spells. For, because like it's like you got like healing word. You got Misty Step.
Yep. Misty Step is a good... But, like... So, like, what 4th level spell plus Misty Step is going to break the game? And guess what? You're going to Misty Step, I'm still going to hit you with a stick.
That's right.
Let's see if you can cast that second spell if you're unconscious.
That is one funny thing of... I would love like the chess match interaction of like the stare down, like in the moment, like the spellcaster standing in front of the fighter, and it's just like doing like the math in his head. It's like, okay, if I Misty Step away, he's gonna hit me with a stick. However, if I'm still alive, I'm gonna blow him up.
Absolutely. It's like, do you want to chance that? You look at him and you're like, do I see a holy symbol? No, I'm gonna call it good.
Imagine that's the biggest plot twist. Is like is this guy a fighter or a paladin? I don't see a holy
Hmm.
symbol. I think he's a fighter. I think we'll be okay.
And then he
And then
turns
he
out to
steps
be a
and then
warlock,
he
and you're
steps
like,
away.
God dang, it's
Yeah.
just
And
almost
then,
just as
yeah.
bad.
Yeah. It turns out to be a warlock or just has his holy symbol like tucked in his shirt or
Yep.
something.
Um,
It's like, dang it. Well, there
exactly.
goes
It's
me.
like I think that is just a way.
Oh my
It's just
goodness.
way better.
Wait.
It's just better in every single situation. Like the
Okay, well
amount of
actually
times,
does he
and
paladins?
also, oh no, I'm going to be frustrated because let me tell you, I'm also a fan of not giving you time to rest. Uh, so like expect some less long rests.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, like having like multiple like
yeah,
significant encounters
and
per
so
long
oh
rest.
no, you're using more spell slots in a shorter period of time. What a shame.
Right. Well, and
Like,
I mean, I think it also like I mean, again, like this, I've like this kind of also is something I love. That like the idea of that is something I like too, because again, that does add a little more strategy to combat
mm-hmm.
encounters of like, okay, I don't want to use all of my stuff because I don't know how soon I'm going to be able to rest. But then, but then you have to figure out, okay, how much is the right amount, and then also adds, it adds also just a little bit of extra, kind of suspense to the story too, because then it's like if you do use a lot of resources, but
And you
you're
get to
not
the
going to be able
next
to
that next
rest,
combat, you're gonna be like, oh no.
and so it makes things mean more.
Yeah.
Um, Also, I just had this random thought.
Uh oh.
Uh, so let's see, paladins get,
Hey Drew,
let's
did you
see,
cut your hair recently?
I cut my hair a couple weeks ago now at this point.
Kind of.
Yeah, but yes, yes, Hansuke, I did. My hair is shorter. Uh, I had 8 inches cut off when I did get my hair cut.
Whew. It's a lot of hair.
Yeah, it's a lot of hair, and it's still this long. But paladins get access to divine smites at second level, and the average health of a wizard at second level is what, like,
Well, they get a D6, so let's assume that you have a. I mean, let's just go with a +0 for con because you're not going to focus on it too hard.
yeah. So you have
So
six at
6 at
first
first,
level,
and then 4 at second
so
for 10.
so 10 hit points,
Now, to be fair,
meaning meaning it is not very hard for a paladin to kill a wizard at second level just outright.
oh yeah, it's
Which isn't
remarkably
like a
easy.
which isn't like a huge revelation, but it is something I just now processed in my head of like, huh, that is actually something to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm. Ah, and I'll do it too.
If like, hmm, spellcasters don't have. I mean, although that being said, like I should already be very aware of this since Leshka,
It got
the
deleted.
second the second episode I ever played Leshka got one shot at level 4, which by the way, I don't know if I've ever said this. I feel like I maybe did, but I'm going to say it again anyway for those of you who forgot. So Leshka, uh, first introduced right after pretty much when the party fought Prazius for the first time and Melora and Cather got abducted. And so then Hannah and I play temporary characters, Leshka and Blix. They're a blast. And like the second episode where we fight some ice monster, and legitimately DJ did exactly enough damage to kill Leshka outright because Leshka had 40 health total. Oh no, not 40 health, 20 health total. And when that a big attack came in, it did 38 damage to Leshka. And at that point he was at 18 health, which means did exactly enough damage to Leshka to kill him outright
Just got attended.
in that moment. And it was glorious. It was
Yeah.
honestly my favorite thing. Like, and Aaron's reaction also is gold. If you haven't seen this moment for
It's on our
some
TikTok.
strange reason, go onto our TikTok, scroll down a little ways. It's there. I have hair that's just about as short as it is now, actually, and I'm wearing
What we
and
lad.
I and I'm wearing I think I'm wearing a maroon shirt in that episode. You'll find it.
So, speaking of main campaign stuff, trying to get a little bit more back on topic, if we even had a topic to get back on.
Yeah, did we
Um,
have top?
well, talking about main campaign stuff, we have one episode left.
That's right.
It's going to be a lot of roleplay stuff. Uh, we can talk about kind of if we have any specific plans or desires for how we want that episode to go. But more importantly, I have, in some regards, I mean, obviously, we need to talk about it as a group about it and try to figure some stuff out. But
Right.
obviously, we're not going to like end that campaign and then suddenly go back and play campaign 2 the next week. Right? We need time. Also,
yeah.
I think that we could use a bit of a break.
Yes. 100%.
So there's a good chance that if we aren't like taking actual like fully taking the time off of um not streaming on a Monday night, then we would be running like a replay or something on those Monday nights, because like I don't know, I kind of like to keep things consistent if we can. And so if I can figure out how to do that myself, I might just take the burden upon myself. I don't know how long that break will last either, because obviously we're not just going to go completely dark.
Right.
I would like to get in a couple of one shots and stuff here, but I know that DJ will be lacking in availability.
Right.
So it'll probably just be short, little quick one shots here and there, maybe on a Monday, maybe on a Thursday. It depends on what we're doing. And then the rest of that time, I'm probably going to see if I can schedule on my Monday nights to like work on TPD stuff outside of campaigns.
Yeah.
So
to give some insight, because like Grant and I have also talked a lot about this too, and I know Grant has talked some with DJ as well, to give some insight to our viewers, some of the things that are going on. The four of us all together have not had a chance to sit down and talk about what happens after the campaign is over at all. Like legitimately, like we have not been able to get all four of us in a room aside from Monday nights in like the past like 5 months.
Yeah, we've been wicked
it's
busy
been,
for a really long time.
It's crazy.
Life
that being
sucks,
said,
man.
That being said, we are very much planning on, once after next week and we wrap up the campaign, having a few of those meetings to talk about a lot of things, some of the behind the scenes things of like figuring out, okay, what do we have to do to get ready for campaign 2 and yada. But definitely seems like, Monday nights is going to become a work night for several of us for TPD things for the next little while, because turns out Monday nights is kind of the only nights that we all have that we can work on things for TPD, because we've structured our life that way for the past 3.5 years.
Yep. And one of the things that I'm going to see if I can work on for those Mondays is going through and making new TikToks. New short videos for YouTube Shorts and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think
because I need
like an idea that Grant has some ideas of some videos that he would like to make during the break and some things that he would like to do. Personally, I think it'd be kind of cool to have like a mini behind the scenes series of like just more like a kind of like a vlog thing of like, hey, what's going on with TPD as while we're on break, that gets like posted to like our YouTube and like mentioned in our social medias. Who knows? We might actually finally use our Facebook page.
I don't believe it. Get out of here. Boot him from the call.
Get rid of this guy.
Yeah, this
guy. But I agree. Like I think it'd be really cool to see, a few different things probably from TPD, not just streaming one shots, but obviously that's a great idea as well. But also seeing like, hey, what's some of the other stuff that's going on that we're working on and trying to accomplish.
As answer to your question, Anchored, we are almost definitely going to be adding another player to the cast. I know for sure that I would like 4 players for campaign 2 at least. There's a chance that we might look for 2.
Yeah.
We're definitely. Yeah, we need at least one more.
Yeah, I think Grant is of the opinion that he would like to have 4 players total, and then obviously the DM. Personally, I lean towards maybe 5 players. I think that's a little more balanced for a stream.
Yeah,
for the storytelling perspective.
Specifically stream wise, I agree with you. Personally, I like smaller groups. I love 4 players. 3 or 4 players is my favorite group because it lets me really focus on the players, really make
Yeah.
sure that everyone is getting what they need. 5 players is when it starts to get a little out of hand for me.
Right.
Um, but and also obviously we can't guarantee anything because
Right.
we need people to be like, yes, I would like to play in this potentially 3 year long commitment,
Right.
um, like your last one, and like it's tough. Also, like we have, I don't want to say qualifications, but like obviously there are
We
some
have
like
we
we've
have some
narrowed it
things that
down.
we're
It can't
looking
just be some
for.
random person. Yeah,
Yeah.
Henskate, you're a lunatic and you deserve to be scorned.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No.
You see, I don't understand how you do
We
it. I can't. I'm not even gonna
we
try.
we barely held anything together when we had 7 of us.
Yep. And I'm gonna be
Uh
clear here. I've done big tables.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I just
100%
hate
we've
it.
done that. We let's see. Let's see. When all of us were playing D&D together in high school, there was uh let's see, Ryan, you, Cam, me, DJ, Diego, Beck,
Yep. So we had
and
8,
Grant.
and
Did I
then
say Grant? I think
yeah,
Grant.
every once in a while, it would be up or down from there depending on how it goes, and it's fine. It's look, and especially when it's like at home, like just a table of friends sitting around hanging out playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's a lot more doable. As a stream, I literally don't understand how people do it. Our setup would not be good for that because we're all online. Like if we were in person once again, probably more doable. But
Yeah.
like through Zoom, oh.
Yeah.
Also, I think I would just fry my brain because
Aaron
like
would die.
as a player, I keep track of so much stuff from other players. As a DM, I go
You
like
keep track of even more.
so much more, like keeping track of what my players say, what my players
Yeah.
do. Do have I given them a cursed item that I need to keep track of a specific phrase? Like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Aaron has already expressed to me how like somewhat stressed out he is about like running campaign 2 as is, like with potentially 5 of us, let alone an additional
Yeah.
like 2 on top of that. Like 7 players would be crazy.
And so I'm down with 4 players. I can do 5 players. I think 5 players would be better for the stream. Um, but like as I said, we have to find the right people because we want someone who's going to be committed to the stream, who understands our stream etiquette and vibe to some extent. Like,
Right. Yeah, somebody
um,
well, because like I think when we started campaign 1, I think we lucked out in a lot of ways
yep,
with the people that we found uh with Hannah and Lydia, of both being people that pretty much right off the bat we vibed with very
yep,
well, and were great storytellers. Now obviously they had to leave for mostly personal
yep,
reasons. Um, it's we're going to be but now that we know a bit more of like what our stream looks like and what we want it to look like and
yeah,
how we like to play on stream, we know a bit more of, okay, hey, even if we vibe with the person really well, if they don't like the game that we're playing for stream, then that
yeah,
makes it
exactly.
a lot more difficult, especially if we want them to be there for a long time.
Yep. Additionally, we are strongly male and pale, so it would be nice to get
To be a little not that.
yeah, so a little not that would be pretty great. And in some ways, I think that we do have a bit of an advantage that we have been going for so long,
Right.
because now it isn't just like, hey, I know that we don't even have a stream and we're just a bunch of people that you have no idea, but you should get on a Zoom call with us and play some Dungeons and Dragons. Like, it's not just like, hey, you can look back through our episodes and see if you like us or not, and like we have some rapport.
Yeah, some rapport.
As like a group that is just a group of people.
Yeah.
So that would be nice. But yeah, so we're for sure looking for new people. We're gonna have to figure that out. That's gonna be in the gap time period of figuring stuff out.
Yeah, figure out. Yeah, because we even have to first we have to figure out even how we're gonna look for people and how that process is gonna be.
So yeah, so we've got a lot of stuff to do. So we aren't sure. I think that there's a
Grant keeps bugging me because he keeps saying how he wants to make all sorts of different music things
yep,
for campaign 2. I'm like, well, buddy, we've been saying we want to make music things for a long time now.
yep. Hey, Monday
I'm
nights,
down
baby, Monday
I'm down,
nights.
bud. But we then let's do something.
But yeah,
Let's do it.
so
But all
um,
things that hopefully we can actually do during the break to some degree because we'll
oh yeah.
have at least some time like Monday evenings to work on things.
Uh, as a bit of insight as to what exactly we're planning in Handskate, um, we're kind of at least we've done a little bit of planning for kind of a multi-step interview kind of deal where the first one is online where like we're going to reach out to some people ourselves, but we also want to have like an application area where like we'll probably post it on our social medias and be like, hey, if you are interested in playing in an online Dungeons and Dragons game, uh, please like go to this link and do the stuff, and then we'll have like a Google form that can fill out and we can look through it on there, and then moving to in person, uh, and then once we narrow down applicants there, we'll probably have a couple of tests, one shots, just to see if
Yeah.
we're really vibing with them, and then we'll choose from there, assuming that we get enough people to do that. If we get like
Right.
2 people, our options are going to be pretty limited.
Right. Right.
um,
But if yeah, and that's part of also too, like while you know, something else we're trying to figure out too is like we don't even necessarily know how long the process is going to take for something like that, and so we that also lends itself to how long is it going to take for us to start campaign 2.
mm-hmm. Not to mention,
Because if for by some miracle we get a decent handful of people, and it's taken us a decent amount of time to kind of figure out, okay, who do we think will fit well,
yep.
that
And we
might take
don't want to
a
rush
while.
anything either.
Yeah.
Like we want to make sure that we're doing it as long as we just hope that the people that we have that like watching us are willing to wait for us to get ready for the next season and everything like that. It also like it'll depend a lot on DJ's situation because he's at a
That is
point
also true.
where like we aren't even 100% sure if DJ will be in a position to be able to stream with us. Like
Yeah, at least for the
at
start
some
of campaign
for a
2.
while.
Yeah.
Um, and so who knows? We may have to look for like 3 people, and then bring in DJ, and now I have 6 people, and
And now
I'll
you
roll with
have
it
way more people
because
than you
I'm not
initially
gonna
wanted.
kick DJ out. When he comes in,
Right.
he can come in.
I mean,
Um,
yeah, and that because I mean, and I think there's different avenues that we can navigate what that would look like for
Absolutely,
incorporating people and
and
stuff. But
just seeing what we can do. But yeah, so definitely keep an eye out for the future. I'm hoping, as I mentioned, with the break, I'll be able to put out short form content a lot easier. Because right now, like, let me tell you, I had a plan for today. I've done one of those things on my plan of 8 things.
yeah, I was gonna work on the podcast today because
Mm-hmm.
to release the most recent episodes, the 2 most recent episodes, and I did not do that.
Yep.
I woke up early this morning because I had to be somewhere, and then after that, I took a nap and slept for like 3 hours.
Dude, that's my exact problem. Literally yesterday, I got off of work and I was like, sick. I'm a little tired. I'm gonna take a nap. I slept until this morning.
And yeah, and then like after my 3 hour morning nap, I get on my computer. I'm like, all right, I'll just scroll like YouTube and like Crunchyroll for a little bit. And next thing you know, I'm like, oh crap, it's like 2:30. What happened to my day?
Um, yeah, no, yesterday was that exact same thing for me. Is like, I, oh man, like I got on like off of work, and I was like, I'm a little hungry, but I'm gonna take a nap first, and then so I just didn't eat anything yesterday. I woke up this
Wait,
morning.
you didn't eat
No,
anything?
I woke up today at 11. I went to sleep yesterday at 11. No, 12. I
Slept
slept
for
almost
11 hours.
24 hours. Or
Whoa,
12
wait.
hours. That's how math
12
works.
hours. Yeah.
No, 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 no. No, 24.
11 p.m. to 11 a.m.
No, 11 a.m. to 11 a.m. 12 noon until 1 hour before noon today.
Wait. Wait.
I got off work at 11 a.m. I
Yesterday.
then went home and I was like, I'm going to take a little nap. And then I woke up today at 11 a.m. It was messed up.
Wow. Aaron is a time traveler, guys.
I I like wasn't even that tired. I like went to sleep at like 9 the previous night. I don't know what happened, but I didn't do anything for the past like 2 days. Also, Anki, I can't say anything for sure about TPD. I know that I plan on streaming solo. That's another thing that I'm planning on working on Mondays, and I'm absolutely down to stream with you sometime. I'm looking for people to stream with, and I'm down. I don't know exactly what I'll be doing yet, but for sure, I theoretically will be free whenever that happens.
Sure.
One of the
Yeah.
things that I had planned to do
When
either today or tomorrow was to finish off some of my solo stream stuff, and I have not done a lick of
when
it.
Aaron gains a life again.
Yes. And so maybe when this campaign ends, this last episode, I'll be able to really fit in time to do stuff. That's going to be the hope. But yeah, so I'm excited. I have a lot of good things planned for campaign 2. I'm ready. It's been so long since I've ran a campaign, and I'm like, I was kind of tired of DMing for a while because that's all I did. I DM'd for like
Yeah,
4 years, and it was like 7 games a week.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, like in high school, you had like some sort of D&D thing like almost every day,
Every single day, sometimes twice a day.
which is it insane to
Yeah,
me.
and all of it was DMing. And if I wasn't DMing, it was like someone who was like, "Hey, I'm gonna try DMing. Could you be there to like help me?" And I
Right.
was like, "Yeah, okay, I'll play in your game." And then like, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. So I would like in class, I would be making my character just off the top of my head, because I was just so immersed in 5e that most of the time I didn't need the books.
Right.
And then I would just get out of school and then go play Dungeons and Dragons until like 9. And that was like
And then
every day.
and then go home and do it all again the next day.
And so like I was excited to not DM for this campaign, but now it's been like 7 years since I've DM'd something, like DM'd a long form campaign.
Yeah.
And whew, I'm kind of in the feels. I'm kind of
Yeah.
ready for it.
Aaron's cooking, you know.
Yeah, I'm cooking. With
He's
gas.
got plans. He's got ideas.
Yeah, so after this next episode, who knows what will happen? I think that we all have some kind of ideas as for what like we would like optimally for our characters.
Right.
I'm not sure exactly how many of them go through. We still need to talk to DJ and kind of individually and figure out kind of what we all want.
Right.
Also, thank you for reminding me, Henskate. I'm not sure what we'll be doing this October, or even if we will be doing something this October. I would like to, but it isn't going to be a Between the Rows, because we don't have enough people for that. I don't have the time for it. No one else does either. But I would like to do something Halloween, because that's like kind of a thing that we do. Like that's kind of tradition.
I mean, I was gonna say, I mean, the first Halloween thing that we did was a one shot.
Yep, it was just a one shot. Ryan did it. What did we call Ryan back? Say, hey, can you DM
Hey Ryan, you want to DM a
one
Halloween one shot? I'm sure he'd be down.
Oh, probably. So we'll figure out something, and we'll notify the Discord when we have it figured out. We'll probably figure it out after this next Monday, sometime when we have time to like meet
honestly
together and figure it out.
Not gonna lie, I totally blanked on the fact that it was October, and this is typically when the next season Between the Rows comes out.
Yeah, in fact, it would be like being viewed now.
Yeah, like normally. The first episode would have already come out.
Yep, probably yes. Well, probably tonight actually is around when either episode 1 or episode 2 would have gone.
Yeah. Yeah, so. Depending on how many. Yeah. Oh my goodness, dude. Also, shout out Between the Rows. Like, one of my favorite things that we've ever done, especially like, personally, I think third season of Between the Rows.
It was a good season.
It was what felt the best to me. But I think all 3 of them are solid. If you have not watched them, go ahead and watch them.
I would love, because Between the Rows has also been one of the most original things that we've done in terms of like visuals and like stylization, and like the third-party content that has come from Between the Rows has also been some of my favorite.
Yes.
Like a lot of like Lydia did some posters for like the different seasons, and they were incredible. Mm-hmm. We have the tarot cards that were sent to us of the characters. Like that blew my mind. And some of the art for it has just been
Yeah, dude.
absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
Um,
it's absolutely phenomenal.
but yeah, and one day we will return. We will return
One
to
day.
Between the Rows, I guarantee it. But not this year. This year is a little too much for us. Um, but yeah, we'll figure out something. We'll do something or another. Who knows? Maybe between now and Halloween, I'll have my entire Triple M rule sets rule set figured out,
Oh
and
yeah,
then we'll just run a Triple M game instead of Dungeons and Dragons and have it be horror themed.
maybe, maybe.
Well, if I
That
if I get myself in gear, here's the thing: if I didn't have a job, I'd have it done in 2 weeks. If I didn't do anything else, I would
if
be in it.
if you didn't need to make money to
Yeah,
survive,
if someone just paid me just for doing nothing, I would be great. Um, I know,
incentive.
right? Oh man, and that's another thing is currently I'm looking to get a different job, so that may change my schedule as well, depending on what job I get. Um, but at the same time, if I do get a job, it might change my schedule for the better. One of the jobs I'm looking at right now pays $25 an hour, and let me tell you, I could work 25 hours a week, 10 hours less than I work on average now, and at $25 an hour, I would still get paid $500 to $600 more than I get paid now at 35 hours a week.
where is this at?
It would be working as a ward technician at the state hospital.
Now, okay, Aaron,
Yeah,
you say technician.
it's security but less.
Okay, I was just gonna say
If it's technology, keep me away
if
from
it's
it. Absolutely.
technology, keep yeah, because you have a history of technology not working. Also, that reminds me, this is totally off topic. I was on a phone call the other day with DJ, and I realized that the four of us,
Mm-hmm.
you, me, DJ, Grant, actually are all one half of one other person in the group, and really just together make two people
Yeah,
because DJ and you are both terrible with technology. Meanwhile, Grant and I are both pretty good with technology.
yeah. So if we
Uh,
combined, we'd be
you,
fine.
and then DJ and I said Grant have the best luck in the party, and then you and I have the worst luck in the party.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't know. I don't know if I'd say that Grant
Well,
has
see,
the
okay,
best luck in the party.
well,
That's
no, no, no.
second.
DJ has the best luck in the party, but Grant is second place.
I don't know,
Now,
dude. I would like to state the thing that I said in the previous episode. Up until this episode, I could not bring to mind a single time that Grant had succeeded on a decision that he made.
okay, well, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm just saying. I think that you think that your luck is worse than it is, and then there's
Well,
Grant
okay, no,
wallowing.
but
It's
see,
like the
here's the thing.
picture.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though, Aaron. I have to say I have bad luck because of DJ, because the
Yeah.
the
So
reality is he can will a natural 20 into existence. I can't. Literally in that final fight, he rolled like six natural 20s on his own.
okay.
And then
So
as a party, the three of us rolled like six,
I
like
would.
six, not even natural 20s. We didn't even roll like, because like my crit wasn't even a natural 20.
What this is right now to me is that meme of the people in the pool, and it's like the
Uh-huh.
mom who's holding the kid, and DJ is the mom. You are the kid who's in the water. In the background, there's me splashing around drowning, and then
And
it
then
zooms to the bottom of the pool,
yeah,
and it's just
and
Grant as a skeleton in a chair. like there's times where I'm definitely far lower on the luck scale, but once we hit, you already did that hand skate. Have I forgotten about the meme? That meme's so good.
it's very good.
But yeah, that's what it feels like, where it's
Well, see,
DJ's there, fully able to stand, and you're
actually
in the
what we
water,
need,
oh look at me, my
Aaron,
luck is so bad, but you're still
Aaron,
being held aloft, and then there's
we
me
actually we
flailing.
actually need we need an alternate version of that where the mom is just luck and DJ's the one being held up by
Yeah, that's
luck.
true.
I'm the one flailing on my own, and then uh you're the one who's down in
I'm
is
the
the skeleton
skeleton and Grant's
underneath the
the
water.
chair.
And then Grant, I don't know where Grant is. Grant's in a volcano.
Oh shoot! Oh, here it is. It's the TBD cast having an in-character conversation. DJ falling off of his chair. We need the extended art. We need the extended art of the skeleton below. I love our meme channel. I need to go
Dude,
back
our
through our
meme
meme channel
channel
more
is
often.
absolutely amazing.
My goodness, y'all are funny. You're
Yeah,
all
our
way funnier than us.
our memes are the highlight of our Discord.
Oh man. Oh, I do need to post somewhere. Where should I post the picture of the natural 20 that I took?
My goodness, I'm refinding some of these memes, and they're just so good. Like
They're
they're
so good.
like I'm just gonna like if you aren't on our Discord,
Be
go to our
there.
Discord, check out the memes channel,
Our
go
our
there first.
our Discord makes the
You will
rest
not
of you
disappoint.
funnier. Like you join and you become funnier than we are, which is a low bar, but it's still a bar.
Yeah, yeah. I like oh my and I love the ones that are just like like inside jokes within like the campaign. Like some of the memes are just great memes. But then there are
Also,
other memes that are like specifically like TPD related. Those are gold
the
right there.
picture that I posted in the Discord just now, that is the picture of the Nat 20 that I rolled last night, um, is a very good evidence. If you've noticed, I miss my dice box a lot.
Yeah, that's
That's
why
that's
because it's
because
filled with
literally
dice.
75% of it is dice, and then I have a little tiny area to roll in, and some of my dice are rubber. So like trying to roll them in that little tiny area, and they just ping off into like just off the side of the table, like they ping into like the bowl of eggs that I had made just before stream.
Also,
That's not even that's not even the full picture of how much this is my dice tray.
yeah, Aaron, you need a dice bag. You need a dice
This is
bag
what I
to
roll in.
to
I have a dice
to
bag.
why don't you use it?
Because then my dice get all disorganized. And these are my Dungeons and Dragons dice. Hold on. And this is my dice bag, but it's
Okay,
just a pit.
you
It's just
need
a pit of dice.
another dice bag for your D&D dice.
Yeah, I should probably get like a sectioned one, but where would I put it?
I don't know. Figure it out. Figure it out, Aaron.
Like I only have so much room on this tabletop in front of me. And yes, Handskate, look, I know that it's not in total a lot of dice. In comparison to the room that I have for said dice, it's a
It's a
lot
lot.
of dice. When your tray is smaller than the palm of your hand, it's really hard to roll in that tray. It's tough.
Yeah.
Life's tough. All
I
right.
I
Um.
do feel your pain somewhat, Aaron, because my dice tray that I roll in is even smaller than yours.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Does
yeah,
it
I
have
like
high walls?
it has these like high-ish walls. Like they don't like they're not taller than my dice, but
So here's another thing. That is an issue. If you've noticed, in my dice tray, there's the yellow part, and that
yeah,
is
there's the
another dice tray.
yeah, that's your felt that you put in.
Yeah.
That's
Well.
that's the see well because see that's what Grant has for his dice tray is the little felt thing that you like
Mm-hmm.
use the little clip like little snap clips to close
To turn
together to
into a
make it
box.
to turn into a
Now,
box. You just have that in your actual
yeah.
dice
So
tray.
mine is actually it's like a mouse pad. So it's bouncier, which still does not help with me rolling in the box.
Yes,
But it's my yellow sign dice tray. So it has the picture of the yellow sign in it.
right.
Which is one of my favorites. The King in Yellow is one of my favorite Eldritch Horror things. In fact, the dice box below it is also Eldritch Horror. It's
Yes,
just a different sign.
because I think we got our dice
Yeah,
trays at the
it
same
was. It
store.
was. Yeah, it's a beautiful. And I can find the name of it, uh, but definitely check them out because I've seen some people rocking them and they are an incredible store. Um, if I can, I would love to shout them out because I love everything that I've seen that they make is fantastic.
C4 Labs.
Yeah, C4 Labs. Go buy cool dice trays. From C4 Labs, they do a very, very good job. But I don't want to use. I want to use both of them, and so the solution that I found was to just use both of them in the same tray.
Yeah, just put them in.
Simple solution: do both. But yeah, so that's been my time. That's a little insight into why Aaron can never like. I'll roll a die. You'll see me literally just sitting there rolling. That's because most of the time I just miss the box. Yeah, I'm either I have so many d20s that I like roll to test which one's seeming good before I decide on one, and then often I roll and it bounces out. I roll and it bounces out. I roll and it bounces out. I'm just sitting there rolling for like 20 minutes. Like, Aaron, it's one check. And I'm like, I know, I'm trying.
I'm trying really hard.
But yeah, that's why my rolls have progressively gotten longer throughout the course of this campaign because I kept getting more dice.
And you kept having.
Yep.
You gained less tray.
Less tray, more dice, less room. What are you gonna do? I mean, and now that I'm DMing, I'm gonna have to save up to get new dice, maybe a new tray. Who knows?
Hands. I do have. Aaron and I both do this to some degree. Have like specific dice for specific characters. Having different trays, bags, and dice for different characters, that feels a little excessive.
I get it.
I do agree. That does sound very nice.
Yeah,
I
let
do
me
not
tell you,
have
if I
the
had
space for that.
if I had the money for it, I'd be all in.
Yeah.
I don't have the space for it, but I'm all in on that.
Yeah,
But I'm
like
also poor.
my desk is a cluttered mess as is.
Well, anyway, we have gone.
At one point, we were talking about D&D.
Yeah, we have gone. Well, we kind of are still, but we have gone all over the place. I actually do have another set of dice. I'm sorry, I have to say I have another set of dice, and I do actually have another dice tray incoming, because I kickstarted a thing. And I don't remember the exact name of it, but they have themed dice boxes for the classes that look.
Oh
like
yeah.
a,
I think you showed me these.
They look like a book. And when you open it, it's a dice tray. And so I have that one. It should be on its way sometime in or towards the end of or after October.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I will. Yeah, I will also admit. Speaking of dice, I have 2, if not 3, sets of dice that I'm going to get for campaign 2.
Yeah. But we've been talking for. This has been one of the longest table scraps we've had in a long time.
It is.
It's been
a while.
Thank you. I'm just gonna say, do you have anything more that you want to talk about right now? Anything that you need to cover?
Shout out to the Anchor Danky, who made one of my favorite memes recently. I say recently; it's been a month, but
that's recent.
Yeah,
that's
true.
recent when your lives are like ours.
Yeah. Yeah. Check us out in a few days when we get around to Monday yet again. And we
will finish
put
off
a lid.
This campaign.
Put a lid on this campaign.
Which meme is it?
Yeah. Which meme is it?
Which meme?
It's just the most recent one. The menace time one that Anchored made with me with my facial hair and sunglasses.
Well, I don't have anything more that I would like to cover. So, I am going to move forward with ending this fantastic episode of Table Scraps. We've covered a lot. We went some behind the scenes. We talked about what's going on in TPD as well as the actual story of the Paper Dungeon.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I don't know if there will be a Table Scrap. There probably will be one more Table Scraps for sure. I don't know how often I'll be doing Table Scraps in our break time. I'll probably just whenever I'm like, man, I would love to do a Table Scraps.
Yeah, just really when you feel like streaming for some reason,
or if I can somehow get people together for a one shot or something. Who knows?
Yeah, with all the extra time that you have.
Yep, I may just really be feeling it.
It just goes live at like midnight.
But until then, keep an eye out on our Discord. And any big events that happen, I probably will run a table scraps to talk about it if anyone wants to stop by and ask questions. So keep an eye out for that. Our Discord is the best way to know when we go live. But the only thing that I have left to say is good luck and Godspeed. We will see you all next time, Dungeoneers. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Woo.
Dude, I would love if you did a table scraps without me. Just one of these days. It would be a good time.
Honestly, maybe I will.